attitude of the players. Some I think that it was a tactical failure of the coach. Others I think that FECAFOOT did not do enough to accompany this team to getting the desired qualification. Also, on the other side, some persons see the interference of the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education into Cameroon's football management as one of the causes for the failure of the Indomitable Lions to qualify for the World Cup. Tonight, we are going to be discussing on this with our panelists who are with me in the studio, but also we're going to give opportunity to at least 5 persons to call in and participate in tonight's edition of the program. We are going to be discussing with Dr. Michael and Dimancho. Good evening, we're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Kum, and it's a pleasure to be here once again to talk about one of the most passionate things that Cameroonians they like talking about. Of course, football is that euphoria that we have in Cameroon, whereby when we talk it, no one stays indifferent. Cameroonians may forget about any other thing. They may forget about corruption. They may forget about even the stadiums that we have in Cameroon. But they will not forget about the match that they lose or that they lost. And I think that it is a very, very important topic that touches on each and every Cameroonian. And we have known that the head of state has always mentioned the Indomitable Lions, and to him this is a symbol of the fighting spirit of all Cameroonians, and ostensibly he was oblivion of the issue of the Indomitable Lion during his swearing-in ceremony. It means that what the Frenchman would say, lay a graph. It appears as if the President of the Republic knew that things were not going to turn well for the Indomitable Lions. We are going to be discussing it. Thanks for inviting me.
Casey Tata is also part of tonight's edition of the program. Good evening, Tata.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, my co-panelist. Good evening, televiewers of my media prime, the African Eye. We are here to shape our football that have been in tension for almost 4 years now, and we are trying to put our own effort to arrange. Maybe it will go a long way to arrange the problem that is passing between FECAFOOT and Minister of Sport and Physical Education. And I hope football in Cameroon is the only thing that is keeping the youth alive, because I hope that's the only hope that the government have given to us, the youth, for now. And if they are still hijacking it from us, the youth, then we had nothing to enjoy as a citizen, as a youth of Cameroon. So we will be talking today as a youth, and then I just want to greet the Wimbum people that are watching me this evening.
Okay, we also have Musinga, a man who is a journalist. He's going to be sharing this platform with us tonight. Good evening, Edman. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Manager, Mr. Leo. I'm very happy to be here. Good evening to all televiewers. Good evening to all my co-panelists. And I think that I'm going to give a pleasure to those who are going to look into us this evening. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. And Dr. Dimancho, I'll start the program with you. Did you watch our last match against the DRC, and your feelings after that non-qualification, even when we had this last opportunity?
And Mr. Leo, there is something that sometimes you hold as hope in your life when all turns not no, as we usually say. And one of those things that I share in, that utterly gives hope to me sometimes, is when the Indomitable Lions are playing.
Okay.
Despite all odds, despite all the physical and psychological traumas that we go through in Cameroon, when the mention is made of the Indomitable Lions having to play, I think that I am always alert. I remember that day I left work halfway and I came back home and I told myself, I am not going out any longer. I'm going to stay glued to my TV set to watch this match. Given to that, it was a very, very crucial match, and that what came to my mind was, who is LDC? Who is Democratic Republic of Cameroon in the face of the rolling lion? And we have always had this impression that it is when the lions are in danger that they roar, and they roar fiercely. That they are not those kind of tigers that go shouting tiger, tiger before they shoot their integrity. But they are those who outwardly prove their worth without making a lot of noise. And on that day, I was calm, and I knew that at least if I had to bet, I would have even bet and said that I would have said that Cameroon will win over 3-0. But then I got one of my highest disappointment on that day. I remember the match ended, and I was thinking that they were still going on halftime. It was indeed a disappointment. Can you imagine that match being hosted by a South American country, and it is a hope of Cameroonians to brighten ourselves in that other part of the continent and to show our talents, and that at this point in time, when even the underdogs had qualified in Africa for this maiden World Cup that is coming, and that it would be the almighty Cameroon. Because we have always had the impression that, especially when it comes to African Nations Cup, that many people pay lots of tickets when Cameroonians are playing. And of course, it gives joy. It is always glorious for international journalists when they know that the Indomitable Lions are playing. And I have always noted that they make commentaries with a lot of pomp, with a lot of fanfare, when Cameroon is playing. And I know when Cameroon is playing, even with other African countries and in the World Cup, a lot of attention is given to Cameroon. And it is understandable, because you know the records that we have created and broken in Cameroon. You know about the 1990, of course, that Cameroon. We know about those legendary names that we have in Cameroon, the Roger Millers, the Samuel Eto'os, and all the Makanekis and all the Mbapelepe, all of those names that we have made, which are international. And then I asked myself, so this World Cup, it's going to happen without Cameroon? I think there is something utterly that went wrong, and I am telling myself that perhaps there is an invisible hand in this, because I couldn't understand that at this point in time. Well, because I felt sometimes God knows the way he does his things. He doesn't want some people to take some glory when things are not moving. Sometimes it is good to go back to the drawing board and prepare, and then you'll be able to hit hard. This is certainly a lesson that we have learned, which is a bitter pill that all of us are swallowing. I think that after all, I came to terms with myself, and I said it is worth it. It had to happen, because for it to happen, someone or some people needed to go back and make a reflection and think back before, like they say, when you want to jump higher, you need to go shift back. And I think that this is the time for Cameroon to fix back. There is this concept of you always succeeding. And at times you take it for granted. At times it is good to have some failure. And I know that now we are going to build our football team and build it solidly.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that first intervention. But Monsieur Edmond Musinga, what did not work for us?
Je pense que si nous nous appuyons sur le dernier match, je pense que c'est un peu faussé. Pardon. Je pense que c'est faussé un peu la situation de l'équipe nationale du Cameroun, parce que cette non-qualification était déjà visible depuis quelque temps, quand on a rencontré des difficultés lors de nos différents déplacements. Souvenez-vous très bien qu'à une époque, il a été question d'accepter l'adjoint, l'assistant du coach sur le banc de touche, ce qui n'a pas été possible. Les interpellations ont été faites et longtemps, avec tout ce que l'équipe nationale du Cameroun a connu lors de ces déplacements où il fallait pratiquement évoluer par voie terrestre alors que les moyens étaient là, c'est-à-dire rien n'était mis. Moi, je pense qu'à partir de ce moment, on a juste été très, très lions pour espérer une qualification quelconque. Mais qu'à cela ne tienne, c'est vrai qu'on avait une poule qui était à notre portée. on avait pratiquement la possibilité de nous qualifier sans procéder par les barrages. Mais maintenant, on se retrouve au barrage pour la qualification d'une équipe sur les 4. Et c'est vrai qu'on est éliminé. Et notons également que c'est le pays qui nous élimine aujourd'hui qui représente pratiquement le continent africain à ces barrages-là, intercontinentaux. Alors maintenant, moi je pense qu'il y a eu beaucoup de manquements et il est peut-être temps que les uns et les autres comprennent, et beaucoup plus. Moi, je ne vais pas par 4 chemins, il faut le dire de manière sincère, honnête. Il est temps peut-être que la FECAFOOT sache que le football, c'est une affaire de tout un peuple et que l'équipe nationale est une valeur importante pour notre pays. Et d'ailleurs, cette équipe nationale, depuis des lustres, a fait l'objet de plusieurs appréciations du chef de l'État. Donc un peu pour dire que c'est quelque chose d'important pour le pays, et il est important également que les uns et les autres. Moi, je déplore seulement parce qu'on nous dit toujours que lors de son discours d'investiture, le chef de l'État nous a dit qu'il s'appuyait sur la jeunesse. Et justement, il s'appuie sur la jeunesse depuis très 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 longtemps. D'où la confiance des autorités, à pouvoir, bien qu'on dise que Eto'o a été élu, mais bien qu'on le dise, oui, c'est par la voix des urnes. Et aujourd'hui, nous, on est convaincus que c'est par le soutien du haut qu'il est arrivé à ce niveau. Alors, s'il est arrivé à ce niveau, lui qui constitue un jeune, j'aurais bien souhaité qu'il redonne la grandeur qu'il a tant prônée pendant sa campagne, celle-là même qui l'amène à la tête de la FECAFOOT. Mais au jour d'aujourd'hui, on constate que le football camerounais, dans son ensemble, toutes catégories confondues, va mal. Et moi, je dis, il faut faire quelque chose pour réguler cette situation.
So you think that we have not qualified because FECAFOOT did not do its job?
Oui, moi je pense qu'il y a eu beaucoup de manquements. Je le dis, je vais pas. Oui, parce que il y a d'abord un climat délétère qu'on a installé au sein de l'équipe nationale. On n'a pas voulu permettre au coach de travailler normalement en acceptant son assistant dans le banc. Alors, il y a eu tous ces problèmes-là qui ont émaillé et conduit à créer un climat délétère au sein de l'équipe nationale, au sein même de l'encadrement technique. Je pense que tout ceci n'était pas de bon ton à pouvoir nous amener à nous qualifier. Alors quand on sait que aujourd'hui on doit se déplacer demain et que des situations où on nous dit par exemple que on va jouer à Garoua. Alors si vous jouez pas à Garoua, si l'équipe l'équipe ne va pas jouer à Garoua, on prépare les U17 et les U17 qui ont été éliminés par la Centrafrique ici même au Cameroun à Bafoussam. Alors maintenant vous voyez tous ces manquements là. Le Cameroun avait le potentiel énorme de pouvoir se qualifier sans passer par les barrages. Parce que quand on regarde même le match qu'on a eu contre le Cap-Vert, pardon, ici au Cameroun, il a été comment? C'était un match magnifique. Et d'ailleurs, quand il est arrivé, je dis, moi j'insiste, et je ne vais pas par 4 chemins, la FECAFOOT a fait tout pour que le Cameroun ne se qualifie pas. Et pourquoi je le dis? Parce que au lendemain de la première victoire de Marc Brice, souvenons-nous très bien, tout le stade à Yaoundé clamait Marc Brice, ce qui n'était pas du goût de la FECAFOOT parce que la FECAFOOT à un moment donné n'a pas accepté Marc Brice. Et il faut le dire.
Est-ce que la FECAFOOT, comment il a gagné beaucoup de matchs?
Oui.
Il a gagné beaucoup de matchs.
Oui, il a gagné beaucoup.
Mais comment est-ce que la FECAFOOT a fait qu'il ne gagne pas?
Mais
pourtant, il a gagné.
C'était contre la volonté de la FECAFOOT parce que
est-ce que c'est la FECAFOOT qui joue?
Mais je dis l'équipe. En ce temps-là, on ne lui donnait pas la possibilité, on ne lui a pas donné, puisque c'était au début de la campagne. Il y avait la campagne de la Coupe du Monde, c'était jumelé, une campagne Coupe du Monde.
Donc on ne lui a pas donné de quoi?
La FECAFOOT n'est pas rentrée dans le cercle des Lions au premier. Alors, compte tenu de ces victoires, comme la FECAFOOT n'a pas voulu de lui, compte tenu de ces victoires, on était obligé de créer un mauvais climat au sein de cette équipe nationale pour pouvoir diviser les uns et pouvoir créer des situations qui ne mettent pas les joueurs en condition de pouvoir continuer la campagne.
He thinks that FECAFOOT is to blame clearly at this stage.
I just want to make it clear that the Minister of Sport does not. That's the Minister of Sport don't love football, the Cameroon football, more than Samuel Eto'o and the Rico that was sacked. Samuel Eto'o was a player. He played and captained the national team, meaning that he knows the in and out of FECAFOOT. Now, coming in, even during elections in November 2022, before winning the election, it was not easy in Yaoundé. But what you want to look also concerning the sacking of Rico and the bringing in of Mark Brice. No, Mark Brice is a Belgian coach hired to perform his duty as the coach. If I hired you, I'm the one paying you, you need to respect my rules and regulations. Who is working under who now? He said he's working under the MINSEP. Now, this match, Cameroon, DR Congo, that happened in Rabat in Morocco. The lapses is coming from the Minister of Sport and the coach himself. The coach refused to come to Cameroon. Meanwhile, he signed the contract that will be living in Cameroon. Now the coach is only basing in Europe. No local players call up. Those are people that want to make name. When you call good professional footballers from Europe, from big teams, Manchester United, all those big teams, and Napoli, you need to bring those that they want to make a name. You feed them with them. Those people will cause those other ones that are already having big names to play. Example, do you know Ngom that the Recubate song changed? He played against Brazil in the World Cup 2022. He's the one that sent a decisive pass to Vincent Aboubakar. Now, he entered there, wanted to make a name. Since that he is growing, he made a name. And Cameroon won. When you look the format that the Mark Brice used against DRC, 3-4-3 is the worst format that a coach can use in football. Example, Manchester United. When you are using 3-4-3, when the ball passes the midfield, it is always dangerous. And then with the Ngande that H also is catching at the middle, he cannot support now.
Yeah, but they did not score us till the last minute.
Football is strategy. When the coach saw the weakness of Cameroon team during the first half, he came in and said, okay, do like this because they are playing like this. Imagine changing Baliba and bringing Kudu in the midfield. A winger playing in the midfield. Then it shows that the coach lacked that tactical format, lacked tactical gears to push the players. Okay, now if they appoint me the coach of Cameroon, I don't know anything. Cameroon may win. It depends the way you talk to your players. You are playing 4-4-2. Please win the match. You don't come and stand and be lost and don't even know what to do. What is the assistant going to do with the coach that is a professional coach? He said the very first time that Inter Cameroon, he said that he's the one that is deciding now. So he have decided that Cameroon will not qualify because we don't see any Cameroon not winning Eswatini. Even me, if I take the Cameroon team that I will take maybe Coton Sport, they will go and win Eswatini. It does not simply be, so the coach is not competent. When you start the race, it is at the end of the race that they know the winner. Crucial matches are not when they say, okay, playoff semi-finals. They know that if you lost the match, automatically you are out. That's where they need to see a coach. Rico Besson has done that against Côte d'Ivoire, against Algeria in Blida. Let me tell you something. Since 2002, Algeria's national team has never been won in that field in Blida. It's Rico Besson that broke the winnings tactics that they were putting in place in the particular field.
To the World Cup.
To the World Cup now, but he qualified.
Yes.
He qualified Cameroon.
But you know what? The team is not a Rigobert Song team. It was a last coach team.
No.
He came and take only 2 days.
The team.
Remember that.
No, all these players that was called up by Rigobert Song. Most of the players that were called up was called by Rigobert Song.
Which player?
The one that the Mark Brice is using now, and he's not able to use them.
I'm not sure. Go and verify.
Verify. Just go and verify.
Yeah.
So the coach, it happens in Côte d'Ivoire during the African Cup of Nations. A coach was sacked in the middle of a competition, and the assistant won the African Cup of Nations. I think it is time that they should think the FECAFOOT should think very well. Sack Mark Briggs. He has nothing to give. He don't win matches out of Cameroon. Then the African Cup will be played in Morocco, meaning that we'll come back with 0 points, 0 goal. You look the attack line, laxity, nothing. How many shot on goals they get to DRC? Nothing. It shows that automatically we don't have a team.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Should we actually be blaming this person is responsible? Who tied the legs of these players not to perform?
That is actually the question. I'm surprised when Mr. Musinga was blaming, is teaching much more and going towards the ministry to say that the ministry is right. I think that each and every partner of this Cameroon football takes responsibility. Each person, there is someone didn't do his job. It is important to say, it's important to be objective. I think before coming to answer a question about the blames that are now going to the managers of football, I would like to take an example of Mark Briggs coming to Cameroon, and he has insistently said that he is an employee of the ministry, not of FECAFOOT, even though it is actually not correct, because it is a FECAFOOT that is supposed to employ a coach according to the rules. But then we accepted him because he has been receiving instructions from the ministry. I remember when he came to Cameroon, what did he say? He said the period of the president of FECAFOOT going to the locker room is over. He is in control of the locker room, of the dressing room, and that he will not permit Eto'o or whoever takes over to come into the dressing room. And of course, that was accepted. Throughout all this time, we have not heard Eto'o go to the locker room. There's no report about it any longer. Because at first they used to say Eto'o went and instructed Rigobert Song to do this and do this. We have not heard that news again. I'm happy, and I really want the journalists to also talk about that stopped, because from good faith, I think Eto'o wanted to give him the free hand to work. That one we can judge from. Now, secondly, we look at the squabbles that have gone. They were not necessary. Those squabbles were not necessary. Those squabbles show to us that there is somebody who doesn't really want that Cameroon to excel at the level of international football. And thirdly, I would say that there was this disconnect. There was a total disconnect between the coach and the players. And how did this disconnect happen? This disconnect happened in some way. The coach that we have in Cameroon does not master his players. He only sees them play in their clubs on TV, and then he calls them up. This is actually the issue, that there is that cordial relationship that is supposed to exist is not there. Fourthly, the coach has depended so much on international players at the detriment of the home talents. It means that what? If something happened to this squad, Cameroon may lack a team. Because I remember there was a year before last, even the guy who was the best player in the local championship, why will we not call the best player of the local championship to the national team? Or even when they call, they don't even place them to play. So it is a problem. There's this disconnect that actually happened. Now, going now into the issue of the football that we have, I think that most of these players that we had in Cameroon are international players and they are professional players. Despite blaming Eto'o, blaming the coach, blaming the ministry, these guys, we watch them play professional football abroad. And despite all, these guys are supposed to prove their worth on the pitch. Why is it that they go and lose a match, and instead of us blaming them for losing a match, being professionals that they are, I mean, those guys have names that are household names. We watch them play on TV. We applaud them. And I mean, their Cameroonians have been listened to. They say, bring that player, bring that. And most of those professional players were brought to play. And we got this disgrace. Look at the guys falling on the field like mushrooms. I couldn't imagine. Those are professional footballers. And they come out, instead of taking the blame. I was expecting a press conference where they will even say, we are sorry, we have failed Cameroonians. But instead, I'm reading from newspaper how some players are segmenting themselves, teaming up to, to take a toe like a scapegoat, or to take this one like a scapegoat. It is not called for. In normal sense, as gentlemen, as people who were called to defend the flag of Cameroon, they were supposed to first of all give an apology to the Cameroonians, because they were taken, because they are professionals. And they are going up and down on the taxpayers' money. This is an issue, and this is what they know. They think that because there's a lot of money in football, they don't know where it's coming from. Mr. Musinga, you pay, me I pay, he pays, Mr. Leo pays. Everybody pays. Yes. And I think that if they pay and they go and fail, they are supposed to be remorseful. Right. Yes, they are supposed to be. And instead of blaming the players first for what, because immediately after that match, I saw the social media. The ministry or the minister, this, and now that drama has continued up to today. Is now given reason to say that there is somebody beating a holy drum in the bush, in the near bush, and it is not normal. So the first thing is that the players, through their captain, they should utterly tell Cameroonians that we have failed you, but we promise to do better in the future. I think this is the way they do to take blessings, to receive our blessings. Not that they should go and try to be manipulating people's opinions and people's sentiment in order to scapegoat one person or another. It is very, very important. They failed us, and they failed us woefully. The DRC Congo team that we had, very few of them are even playing internationally. We have very few names there that we can call that these are names that play in big clubs abroad. And therefore, I think that at this point in time, we accept too that any big team can lose. It is football. We accept. But my problem is that when you lose, don't try to put the blame on another person. This is where the problem is. Because if you read the comments and what is going on now, it shows as if now there are two camps in Cameroon football, which is not called for. The African Nations Cup is coming. I think that one of the ways in which to clean their image was to come together, solidify their union, and be able to tell Cameroonians that we fail you for the way to qualify the World Cup. We are going to give you the best as far as the African Nations Cup is concerned. Not all of this political kind of thing siding with the ministry and the FECAFOOT.
Okay.
Moi, je pense que oui, moi je pense que docteur ne met pas la main dans le plat. Il faut dire les choses telles qu'elles sont, docteur. C'est-à-dire, ne fuyons pas le vrai problème de l'équipe nationale du Cameroun. Parce que vous avez dit, j'ai entendu tantôt cette docteur dire que dans cette équipe, il n'y a pas de locaux, et l'autre l'a même aussi dit. Mais moi, je dis, on est allé à la Coupe du Monde. Avec Rigobert Song, il y avait combien de locaux? Je demande, est-ce qu'on avait une équipe constituée des locaux? Non. On avait combien de locaux? On avait à peine 3 ou 4. Je vais vous dire, je vous rappelle pour votre mémoire. Je dis, attendez, je vous parle, on est allé à la Coupe du Monde, Eto'o était à la dernière coupe du Monde. On est allé avec Eto'o qui était président. Vous vous rappelez? Oui. Voilà, alors, on est allé avec combien de locaux? Et à l'époque, on avait un Camerounais. On avait combien de locaux dans cette équipe? Parce que vous vous plaignez, vous nous dites que il n'y a pas de locaux, un coach qui ne prend que les joueurs qui jouent à l'international. Oui. Alors maintenant, quand j'ai déjà écarté ce volet-là, je vais vous poser une autre question. En dehors des joueurs locaux, pourquoi on ne touche pas le problème au fond? Pourquoi on ne regarde pas d'où vient le mal? Dire à Eto'o de ne pas rentrer dans les vestiaires des Lions indomptables. Vous êtes sans ignorer que cette histoire des vestiaires où il a dit aux joueurs professionnels, il s'est introduit dans les vestiaires où il a dit personne n'a sa place. Vous êtes sans ignorer que ça a fait le tour du monde entier où on trouvait que c'était pas normal, c'était pas de son droit. qu'il devait laisser l'entraîneur faire ce travail.
Et il a fait...
Alors vous rappelez que ça a créé un tollé dans le monde entier. Il faut qu'on l'accepte. Alors maintenant, dire à Eto'o de ne pas aller dans les vestiaires, je pense que c'était que normal pour préserver cette harmonie qu'il y avait déjà entre les joueurs, qui forment déjà au fond une famille et qui sont appelés à défendre les couleurs de notre équipe nationale. Alors maintenant, quand je sors de ce cadre-là, je rentre dans la sélection. Moi, je dis, ne regardons pas les barrages. Et puis moi, à ces barrages-là, le Cameroun a joué. J'ai une belle équipe du Cameroun. Bien qu'on ait encaissé un dernier but, d'ailleurs, nous avons marché sur la RD Congo. Malgré tout ce qui s'est passé, reconnaissons-le, nous avons joué, nous avons marché sur la RD Congo, malgré le but qu'on a encaissé à la dernière minute, mais nous avons été présents, contrairement à ce que la RD Congo a présenté hier, qui a marché sur le Nigeria. Et alors que le seul adversaire dont le Cameroun avait peur, c'était le Nigeria, dont les Camerounais. Mais comme je sais que nous, les Camerounais, plus de 31 millions, nous sommes tous des coachs. Voilà pourquoi je vous entends dire que c'est monté, c'est descendu, parce que docteur coach, toi tu es coach, chacun est coach à son niveau, mais oubliant qu'il y a un coach qui a été normalement nommé et qui a demandé à ce qu'il y ait un assistant à ses côtés pour mieux mener à bien sa mission. Alors maintenant, non, le coach n'a pas refusé de faire son travail. Je dis, le coach a toujours fait son travail et a demandé à la FECAFOOT de permettre à son assistant d'être à ses côtés. Pourquoi ça a fait un problème? Pourquoi la FECAFOOT, même jusqu'aux dernières journées, n'a pas donné la possibilité à l'assistant d'être sur le banc? Si on était vraiment déterminé, si la FECAFOOT voulait que le Cameroun gagne, ça c'est la question que je vais vous poser. Pourquoi la FECAFOOT a refusé? Pour dire que c'est le coach qui est incompétent. Oui, le coach ne cesse donc de demander son assistant sur le banc de touche. Pourquoi on a refusé jusqu'à la dernière minute que son assistant? Pourquoi on ne pourrait pas mettre ce coach-là au pied du mur et dire que, bon, ok, voilà votre assistant. Allez donc jouer maintenant. On va voir comment vous allez gagner. Mais jusqu'à la dernière minute, vous avez refusé l'assistant du coach et vous vous attendez aux victoires alors que l'assistant du coach, au début des différents tournois éliminatoires, a été aux côtés du coach jusqu'à ce que jusqu'à ce que la FECAFOOT vienne installer le désordre au sein du groupe en nommant également son staff technique. Mais dis donc, regardons là où vient le mal. Regardons d'où il commence et ne nous appuyons pas sur le dernier match, qui d'ailleurs a été l'un des grands matchs de cette équipe nationale. Moi, je vais vous dire, et de manière sincère, de ma vue, de l'extérieur, je dis ça a été un très grand match pour les Lions indomptables, malgré la défaite. Malgré la défaite, parce qu'on aurait même pu gagner dans les temps réglementaires par 3 buts à 0. Parce que nous savons qu'on a raté, on a eu des gens qui ont raté des occasions nettes de but dans ce match-là. Et n'oublions pas, je reviens encore dessus, n'oublions pas que dans ce tournoi, pour bon nombre de Camerounais, la seule équipe qui faisait peur aux Camerounais, c'était le Nigeria. C'était le Nigeria. On savait que la RD Congo, on va passer. Mais attention, la RD Congo, que vous voyez même, vous vous rendez compte que c'est une fédération qui est sous la normalisation. Ce n'est même pas une fédération qui a un président. Un président officiellement installé. C'est la normalisation qui gère. Et moi je dis, à partir du moment où, et même le Nigeria a connu une défaite, parce que même au Nigeria, il y a les troubles au sein de la fédération. Alors maintenant, pourquoi ne pas comprendre que quand là où il y a le désordre, il n'y a pas de victoire à la fin? Parce que c'est l'expérience, c'est la leçon que nous donne ce mini-tournoi qui a eu à Rabat. C'est-à-dire que voilà la RD Congo, qui est en normalisation, et où on a essayé, la majorité des joueurs même sont des joueurs locaux en RD Congo. La majorité sont des joueurs locaux. Alors maintenant, et les joueurs africains évoluent dans le championnat africain. Alors, ils respectent, ils évoluent. La normalisation donne les possibilités à l'équipe d'évoluer normalement, contrairement aux fédérations qui mettent les bâtons dans les roues des équipes nationales. Et moi je dis, il serait peut-être temps qu'on passe encore à la normalisation pour réguler la situation du football camerounais.
Okay, yes, he says that you guys are dodging away from the key issue The key issue has to do with the presence of FECAFOOT, which has refused to allow the coach to do his job. But Monsieur Musinga, j'ai vu la FECAFOOT aussi. Pendant tout ce temps, c'est Marc Brice qui avait la vestiaire. Hein? Et c'est lui qui nommait ses joueurs. C'est lui qui faisait tout.
Mais Marc Brice a toujours fait son équipe.
Oui, mais
Marc Brice a toujours entraîné les gens. Yeah, mais je dis, un assistant du coach, le rôle de l'assistant du coach, c'est voir ce qui se passe sur l'aire de jeu et de pouvoir prendre des
Marc Brice has won matches without the coach. Beside him.
Pardon?
Il a gagné même sans son assistant.
Oui, mais il a gagné parce que
c'est ça casse.
Non, pourquoi nous regardons seulement que il a gagné sans son assistant? Pourquoi nous ne tenons pas compte du fait que monsieur Léo, permettez-moi de répondre s'il vous plaît, manager. Pourquoi nous ne tenons pas compte que ce monsieur, le coach des Lions indomptables, a demandé depuis très longtemps que son assistant soit à côté de lui. Vous savez, il y a eu des moments où il a gagné, je suis d'accord avec vous, mais n'oublions pas qu'il était très obligé à chaque mi-temps ou alors d'envoyer quelqu'un qui était un émissaire pour prendre des informations auprès de son assistant qui était au niveau des tribunes.
Okay.
Ça veut dire qu'il faisait son travail.
I think you are defending someone that is aware that the assistant will not do anything. Let me tell you, the match Cameroon-Cape Verde, that Cape Verde won, Cameroon won not. During the press conference after the match, they asked the coach, is it because of your assistant that was not present that they won Cameroon today? The coach simply said that he had been winning matches without the assistant.
Exactly.
So you cannot put the blame on the assistant.
Il a demandé plusieurs fois, oui ou non. Il a
demandé. But it's not the problem to
il a posé ce problème. Ce problème a été posé.
That's what he said. He said the assistant is not the problem. He said that the assistant is not the problem, and then he had been winning matches without the assistant. But how can you be a coach, head coach? Then a match is going on, you are watching the match, and then you send someone to go and take information from your assistant. So your assistant, you are the assistant, or the one in the podium is the
Parce
assistant.
que l'assistant a une autre vue de la rencontre que toi, le coach, tu peux ne pas avoir.
So Marc Brice, it is us Cameroonians that we are trying to force word into Marc Brice's mouth, because he said the assistant is not the problem. Then now, the outing that you are blaming Eto.
Vous ne pouvez pas dire qu'il a dit que l'assistant n'est pas de problème. Il a réclamé l'assistant.
Non, monsieur Musinga. Musinga, vous avez parlé personne.
I don't want to answer you because Marc Brice doesn't have a problem with it. It is only the Minister of Sport and Physical Education that is always having the head of a delegation, Tulu. I thought maybe he would go to Morocco. But I don't see him there. He went to Cape Verde when they won Cameroon 1-0. He said that he was the head of the delegation. And said no, according to them, Eto was not managing the Cameroon national team well. That's why Marc Brice came in and was winning matches. I thought maybe they will come now and say that no, since he was winning matches, that Eto was not going to the dressing room, the locker room. But now, till now, Eto have not been going there. They are still the one. Why is that he could not win the match? Then let me come to that match. The outing that Eto was Cameroon-Burundi. Was Cameroon-Burundi that they drew the match 1-1. The laxity of the match, the way the players were playing with a lot of laxity. Eto went there and told them, Eto saw this thing coming. He said that, what you people are doing like that? Nobody is having his players assured. It is when I sit here, I know that, okay, when in all matches that Cameroon will play, I will be called up. Then, what's the anxiety to play and keep my position in the pitch will not be there. So that's what Eto went and told them. So there's something with Cameroonians that is that they don't want the truth. When you say the truth, they will try to turn the truth and blame it on you. Okay, now we have not seen a match that maybe Cameroon is playing and Marc Brice refused to stand or to coach or to go and stand as the coach because the assistant is not there. What happened is the Minister of Sport organizes the players one time in a Hilton hotel in Yaoundé that they said no, they want the FECAFOOT to give the Marc Brice his assistance. But the contract was not signed by FECAFOOT, sir. It was signed by the Minister of Sport. and the contract remains with the Minister of Sport.
You want me to answer you?
And
No.
then let me I want you to go out. So when you talk about the outing of that players that they went and they were trying to complain, now they complain about the assistant. Look, the goal that the Kevet scored us in Kevet. There were 3 players. That guy did like escort an attacker right to the goal. There was Brian Boyomo, there was Boyomo, there was Christopher Wu.
Who felt like a mushroom?
You are accompanying someone that you are a defender. No, put the person down. You are getting? But is it now the assistant that was not there that allowed them to to make that defensive error? No. When you are a professional, you talk about the local players. Do you remember Cameroon, Jamaica was played at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium? The only professional player there was Vincent Abouaka.
Which year?
When they were going the goodbye match at Amadou Ahidjo Stadium, Rico Besson was the coach. Was all local players, and they played a draw. They played a draw against Jamaica.
For go to the World Cup.
To a World Cup.
Ah, yes.
The players was all local players now, and the match was counted as a match that Rico Besson could not win. But those that played the match were local players, and if you watch the match again, you discover that the determination and the anxiety was there.
How many of them take it?
They selected 3. I quite remember 4 local players.
Please, Sekwano.
And they used,
you were talking, nobody.
and they used Ngom that have become a star. You are getting? So when you want to compare the matches that Mark Brice is winning with those of Rico Besson, you will discover that Mark Brice was winning mushroom countries that are not well known in football. Imagine Eswatini now today that proud that they won Cameroon. Meanwhile, it was mechanics, carpenters, bricklayers, policemen, that the people that play Equator, that they came and they were playing against the national team. No, it's the true, Mr. Leo. Those players that are not professionals, they are mechanics. It's just like when we're during Saturday matches, we will go to the field, we play. They are selecting them from there, and they play with professionals. I'm telling you that
it's not good.
no, it's not good. How can you say so?
Please.
Then now when you look at the matches that was won by Rico Besson, those teams, Mark Brice cannot win them today. Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria, Brazil, to play a draw against Serbia and lie, Cameroon concede maybe 10 goals. You cannot be carrying just about.
Okay, no 2 matches are the same. Why are you dodging from the real problem?
Well, what is the real problem? The real problem, first of all, starts, you know, when people are not mentally upright, prepared, there's also a problem. Mr. Musinga, I'll bring you to the issue. We keep on talking about the assistant. Do you even know that the technical bench was even normalized? That because of the squabble that came with the recruitment of the coach, FECAFOOT had to give its own part of its staff, and then the ministry, gave another staff. So it was not normalized. And there was that understanding. But they kept on fighting and fighting and fighting. This is first of all the first psychological problem.
Is it a
that
question?
came.
Do you want me
No, it's not a question.
Okay.
It's just not a question. It's not a question. Because I just made mention. No. Because you keep on talking about the assistant as if the assistant now replaces the coach.
Okay.
I think that we have to be very, very. You know, I know that when there is a victory, we tend to take the victory. But when there's failure, we fail to say exactly that. We assume the responsibility of failure. Our coach has to actually take, because the first manager of the team, he has to take first responsibility. Secondly, the minister in some occasion proposed champagne and pop champagne for the winnings of Mark Brice. Are we ignorant to that? We are not. That goes to show that Mark Brice is doing well and is in control. So why do we bring out the problems of saying that Mark Brice's hands were tied, this was there, the assistant was there, and this and that? Let us look for the problem elsewhere. Thirdly, I want to say that issue of the fighting spirit has already left Cameroonian players. Because I'm still coming back to this issue of the players themselves, who are supposed to be the key focal point of our discussion. The fighting spirit has left them. When you see the way Cameroonian players they play, you clearly see that they prioritize their professional teams than Cameroon, playing for Cameroon. Many teams, many players are careful not to even take a wound because they know they are going to lose big where they are coming from. It is something that we have to look at. That this fighting spirit that we used to see, where we will see people like Rigobert Song play, and then everybody shout Manyang, Manyang. And it was that spirit that people play, and they forgot the fact that they had themselves, and they were playing for the country. They were playing for the green, red, yellow.
You know, since when
this is
fighting spirit out.
It's not well. Why is it out?
Remember since when?
No, listen. Why is it out? Why is it out? It's not supposed to be out. It is out because of these camps that we have created in our football. We used to have that cohesion that had with the teams. That even on the plane, you found players playing Janjambu on the plane. We used to see those photos. Why don't you see the photos now? Because you see that players are in camps. There's a camp of this, the ministry, and there's a camp of the FECAFOOT. Is it supposed to be so? Why? We have heard about the scope that we are having now. That FECAFOOT claims is supposed to be in control. And now the Ministry of Sports says it's supposed to be in control. Someone is right and someone is wrong. But why is the person who is wrong not accepting that he is wrong? It is because of certain interests.
Who is wrong and who is wrong?
I think that in the case of the coach, it is FECAFOOT that is the man or is the boss of the coach. And it is FECAFOOT who is supposed to employ the coach. That one is stipulated. No one, all of us know that. But why does it come that?
You are asking me?
No, I'm not asking.
Okay.
I'm saying because you keep on talking about why am I asking you? Why does it come now that we think that the coach is being disputed between FECAFOOT and the Ministry of Sport until the coach himself will say and openly say in Mojo Vision that the ministry is his boss, the minister is his boss, and that he's under the ministry and not under the FECAFOOT. We have heard this. Is this called for? If you are the boss of FECAFOOT, will you take this line down? This is like selling your birthright. So I am in fact with Eto'o for the fact that he has to hold on. Because if he doesn't hold on now, he will be setting a bad precedence. And that tomorrow, another president comes over in FECAFOOT, the same thing will happen. So I like the vigorous and the consistent manner in which he imposed and said, you are under me and you have to be under me. And that is why even when the Ministry of Sport said, okay, they wrote series of letters and said that your famous assistant should be on the bench or should be with the coach. How many times did they get it? We were waiting for see the assistant or the coach defy the rules of FIFA and get into the pitch without FECAFOOT after putting his name on the list. So it is a problem. The point is that someone is wrong, and what the problem we should be touching here is that let each and every person take up his responsibility and let those responsibilities be respected. Why do you merge or get yourself immersed into the problem or into the responsibility of another person? Now we realize that football has been politicized, whereby if you do not know the head of state or you do not know somebody somewhere, you will not say. Remember one time the Eto'o was asking when they were talking about high instruction, I asked a question, high instruction from who? So people are using a name and talk about high instruction which were not there in order to traumatize and utterly shut people down. It is through the vigorous nature of the president of FECAFOOT that we have to know that somebody has to take his responsibility and not the issue of high instruction. So someone is wrong, and we are saying that we should review our football. I saw Mr. Musgawa, his wish was that we should come back, we should normalize the team, the FECAFOOT. We should bring a committee on normalization. But it is not my point of view. Normalization will not save Cameroon. Let it, because we go to, have we not gone for normalization before? We had normalization before with Minister Warner, who was the head of it all.
We have had two.
Of course. And what did he bring to Cameroon? We are still at the same place. So I think that instead of running away from our problems, let us be able to sit down and give people their rules and responsibility. Normalization will not come and solve the problem of Cameroon football.
Okay, yeah, Musinga.
Yes. Alors, je suis très surpris parce que j'ai l'impression que
Docteur Ndimancho?
Non, même pas lui seulement. J'ai l'impression que l'honnêteté intellectuelle n'existe plus.
Okay.
Ça, c'est dans l'ensemble pour ceux qui s'attardent à soutenir cette version. Parce que quand il a été question des hautes instructions, les mêmes hautes instructions ont enlevé, ce sont les mêmes hautes instructions qui ont permis à Rigobert Song d'être à la tête, à l'époque, d'être à la tête de l'équipe nationale. C'est toujours sur la base des hautes instructions. Donc, n'ayons pas... Mais c'est Rigobert Song qui est venu, non, avec les mêmes hautes instructions. Non, donc Eto avait fait les fausses instructions. Non, je dis, hein, Eto, donc c'est Eto qui avait fait le faux dans les hautes instructions qui ont nommé Rigobert Song. Parce que c'est Eto qui est venu avec Rigobert Song sur la base des hautes instructions, n'ayons pas la mémoire courte. Alors ça, c'est le premier point. Rigobert Song a été nommé, voilà, par les hautes instructions, non? Donc, je dis, par les hautes instructions, oui. Oui ou non? Par les hautes instructions, oui ou non? Je demande, non, ne tournez pas.
Please, no, please.
C'était les hautes,
let Musinga develop his, please.
Moi, je dis, les mêmes hautes instructions ont permis à Rigobert Song de conduire l'équipe nationale du Cameroun. Si les mêmes hautes instructions permettent au ministre de pouvoir trouver un staff technique pour l'équipe nationale des Lions Indomptables, vous dites que il y a les tests qui disent oui. On ne dit pas, on ne refuse pas, mais n'oublions pas que la FECAFOOT elle-même octroie à l'État du Cameroun la gestion et la décision de l'équipe nationale du football. Ça, je pense que ce débat est clos. Et maintenant, s'il faille revenir sur la logique qui existe aujourd'hui dans le cadre du football camerounais, où est-ce qu'on est? Vous parliez tout à l'heure du fighting spirit. Vous vous rappelez depuis quelle époque le fighting spirit a disparu dans l'équipe nationale du Cameroun? Vous savez depuis quand? Depuis que les Lions, il n'existe plus un groupe qui a pu transmettre, ou alors depuis que le groupe qui a précédé celui-ci n'a pas transmis les vraies valeurs. C'est depuis l'époque où, moi j'ai bonne souvenance, c'est depuis l'époque où, comment on l'appelait, Paul Le Guen est arrivé au Cameroun et avait donné le brassard à Samuel Eto'o. C'est depuis cette période que le fighting spirit a disparu des Lions Indomptables. Si vous avez la mémoire, si vous avez la mémoire courte. Alors maintenant, on a tout fait pour remettre le fighting spirit au sein de l'équipe nationale. Mais quand rien n'est réuni, rien, ceux-là même qui ont eu le fighting spirit hier, parce que, disons-nous la vérité, même à l'époque de Rigobert Song, on a eu un semblant de fighting spirit, mais on ne reconnaît plus l'équipe nationale du Cameroun dans le fighting spirit. Et depuis quelque temps, on essaie de reconstituer le fighting spirit, inculquer ces valeurs camerounaises à l'équipe, à ses joueurs, parce que ça a même été l'une des plus fortes raisons d'avoir tous nos nationaux. Tous nos gars, les Brian Bruno, tous ces internationaux-là sont revenus à l'équipe nationale parce que le Cameroun a cette âme-là qui est propre à ce pays, qui était le fighting spirit, le Hemley. Alors maintenant, le Hemley, à partir du moment où ce Hemley-là n'existe plus, à partir du moment où les dirigeants même du football camerounais ne font rien pour remettre et mettent plutôt les bâtons dans les roues, parce que en fait, il existe des conflits entre les dirigeants et certains joueurs. Vous voulez que les dirigeants, quand un dirigeant d'une fédération se lève et va au vestiaire, dit personne n'a sa place dans cette équipe. Est-ce que ça se fait? Dans quel pays au monde on l'a fait? Et quand un dirigeant dit à un entraîneur, vous n'aurez pas droit à votre coach, il aspire à quoi? Aux défaites ou à la victoire? Moi, je dis c'est les réalités qui nous rattrapent et ne tournons pas le dos à ces réalités-là pour nous dire que c'est monté, c'est descendu, c'est monté, c'est descendu. Je dis et j'insiste, je persiste là-dessus. La normalisation est peut-être la meilleure des choses. La preuve en est que le championnat camerounais, le football camerounais, aujourd'hui on a un championnat, on a les joueurs locaux. Est-ce que c'est normal que depuis le retour du Cameroun à la Coupe du Monde, qu'on n'ait pas un bilan de la gestion des fonds qui ont été alloués à l'équipe nationale? Le Cameroun a sorti de l'argent, la FIFA a donné de l'argent jusqu'aujourd'hui. Seulement en cette équipe dirigeante, on a eu combien de comment on les appelle encore, d'équipementiers? On a eu combien d'équipementiers? Est-ce que on a déjà eu ça dans ce pays? Mais dis donc, en même temps, je dis, soyons honnêtes intellectuellement, docteur, soyons honnêtes nous tous, et reconnaissons que le football camerounais et sa gestion, tout va mal. Toutes catégories confondues, je l'ai dit. Que ce soit les femmes, à un moment donné, on était deuxième en Afrique après le Nigeria au niveau des femmes. Mais on est obligé de participer à la CAN même aujourd'hui par repêchage. Mais vous vous rendez compte? On est où? On va où? Pourquoi vous refusez l'essentiel? Vous n'abordez pas les vrais sujets. Vous allez prendre les périphéries. C'est quoi? On va où? On va évoluer comment?
If we get what you are saying, the Football Federation has done virtually nothing, but surprisingly, you find nothing wrong with the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education.
That's what I see. I'm just listening to
They're
you.
completely, they're very angelic.
Moi je dis, je ne parlerai pas, c'est-à-dire,
Don't you, is the problem not because there is a battle between the Ministry of Sports and FECAFOOT?
je dis
Is that not where the problem is?
pour moi, le ministère n'a aucun problème dans l'échec des Lions indomptables. Et j'insiste là-dessus. On sait, tout le monde le sait, que d'ailleurs, en dehors de l'équipe A, l'équipe des Lions indomptables, quelle est l'équipe nationale camerounaise qui est qualifiée?
When you say everybody,
Toutes les autres équipes sont qualifiées.
when you say tout le monde le sait, mais les deux si ne savent pas.
Non, mais je dis, voilà pourquoi, non, ne parlez pas de, mais voilà les médailles qu'on engage chaque jour dans les championnats, en Afrique et dans le monde. Voilà l'athlétisme, allez regarder le répertoire du Cameroun aux Jeux islamiques. Mais vous parlez seulement, vous appuyez seulement sur le sport. Regardez la situation du basket. Alors moi je vais dire, oui, laissez-moi vous répondre.
You have spoken with almost 20 minutes.
Vous m'avez demandé, vous m'avez posé une question. Laissez-moi vous répondre au moins. Si vous ne voulez pas que je vous réponde, donnez-donc la parole à quelqu'un d'autre.
Tu as répondu, non.
Mais ils sont deux. Mais donnez-moi.
Non, je n'ai pas. J'ai envoyé. Non, monsieur Msinga.
Non, je ne dis pas que vous êtes contre moi.
Non, ils ne sont pas contre vous. Chacun. Non, chacun a. Oui, mais j'ai invité tout le monde comme ça. Je ne sais pas si. Je crois que s'il y a. Non, je crois que s'il y a quelqu'un que je connais sa position depuis avant de. Ce n'est que toi.
Oui. Alors maintenant, vous m'avez posé une question, monsieur Léo. Donnez-moi la possibilité. Non, laissez-moi la possibilité de vous répondre. Bon, si vous estimez que j'ai beaucoup parlé, ne me posez donc pas la question. Non, continuez, monsieur Léo. Continuez, Mr. Léo. Continuez.
So you mentioned many things here. You have talked about the high instructions. The tension between FECAFOOT and MINSEP today is based on the high instructions that we don't know where the high instruction ended. When you talk about recompensations coming from the very presidency, that was presidential decree signed. Yes, when the recompensation was named the head coach of the national team, it was a presidential decree.
Which decree?
It was a decree written. But when we talk about the high instructions that the Minister of Sport was talking of. No.
Well, please.
It was a written note that put Rikubet Song, the head coach of national team, and there was no problem. But this high instruction that you have just mentioned that came from the presidency, we are still asking where the high instruction was coming from till today. There is no answer. Who gave the high instructions? Because it was not our president, His Excellency President Paul Biya, that gave the high instructions. And it ended in a way that we don't understand. Then, when you said fighting spirit don't work in the national team, I will tell you it is a lie. Let me draw you back to 2001, when Jean-Paul Akono was the head coach that took Cameroon to the Olympic in Sydney, that they won. When you see the way they were playing, you discover that they were determined. And it was that fighting spirit that gave them victory. Then we go now to 2017 in Gabon. Those professional players that we are basing on now refused to come. They called them, they refused to come. That was this is a coach that is in South Africa now.
Hugo Bruce.
Hugo Bruce. They refused. They called players from second division all over the world. They came there. You discover, do you know about the Dictabe? We had players like there was this man that was playing at the back. That they came to the 2017 African Cup. Yes. When they were going, people said that they will come, they will eliminate the first round. If you watch Cameroon match against Senegal, you understand that the fighting spirit is what plays football. You cannot be going to a war as if you are going to go and greet someone. You must have that anxiety. The anxiety is being put into the players by the head coach. It's the same like a commander leading the troops to a war front. If you are going there, you say that take the gun now, go and shoot, see whether those enemies are coming. The soldier also will walk up with a lot of laxity. You are getting me? But when you said, see this match as we are going to play, we are going to win. Nobody should get into the pitch and play. You give them that spirit that they know that yes, the match is important. Because when you are looking at the national team now, it's as if they are begging the players to come. It's as if they are begging Mark Breeze to remain. We want the result. Cameroonians don't want failure. They say that impossible n'est pas Camerounais. We want, whether it is not going, try the thing to go. That's the fighting spirit that we are always talking here. So when you look at those statistics I'm giving you, you discover that Mark Breeze have come like to colonize now the national team. The national team belong now to Mark Breeze. He is doing as he wish. They said come and populate it. He refused. We saw the list on the social media. And they were calling players through the back door. We just discovered that players were arriving from the social media. But the calling players must have what? A press conference. That we call, the journalists will ask you some questions. Why this one is not in the list? Why this one you have called this one? Why local players are not there? But he don't want those type of questions. Meaning that he is the one that is deciding now. So the fighting spirit was supposed to put into the players by the coach. But the coach, since the coach was just hired maybe to come and perform or to destabilize the national team, that's what he's doing now. That's what he's doing now, because you cannot come to Cameroon where we were born, brought up, eat cocoyams with red oil. Then you are telling Samuel Eto'o, that is the president of FECAFOOT, that you are the one that will decide. As who? And nobody, the minister of sport that was supposed to question him for saying he's the one deciding, he's the one supporting. Let me tell you, all the problems that is circulating around FECAFOOT today, around the national team today, is because the taps have been locked. Since Eto'o has been, now very soon it will be 4 years, we are not getting arrears, match bonuses problems. But during his time, I quite remember when he was a captain, he decided to call off a match, Cameroon against Algeria, that if the bonuses are not paid, the players will not go. People say he was happy. But ministers are living, floating with it. Money is the issue with FECAFOOT. Selfishness. And let me make it clear. We are talking here and calling the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, Professor Moelo Kombi.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just because what we call impinging chook skin. Forcing yourself to where you do not belong. Now, FECAFOOT is an independent institution that is answerable to CAF and FIFA.
Yeah, but the state is the one giving money.
The state is the one giving money, but that institution is answerable only to CAF and FECAFOOT. And let me make it clear, I'm afraid. What I saw on social media, the communique bounding the elections, the FECAFOOT elections, it may cause now FIFA and FIFA to maybe to punish Cameroon through sanctions. Now, the Eto'o that you people are vomiting, the Eto'o that you people are vomiting in Cameroon, that his management is very poor. He is the one that is getting appointment. It is being appointed in the FIFA is now working with CAF. If he's not working well, people they've taken Eto'o to task how many times? Several times, but he's still succeeding because they've seen the good work. What Cameroonians or what our authorities are doing now in Cameroon is they don't like the truth.
Okay,
they don't like the truth.
Let me take some of the messages from those watching us. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Today, which country is playing football with C mechanics? Being a mechanic is not the last person. Okay, good evening to you all in the studio. I think I will blame the coach for the poor performance of the Lions. He fails to concentrate on what he was employed. Instead, his focus was on the dispute between MINSEP and FECAFOOT. He allows the players to choose calm against one another, not building the lion spirit in them. I believe that the coach should have been neutral to this conflict between MINSEP and FECAFOOT. Secondly, because of the conflict, players fail to concentrate, as well as each wanting to take sides to be favored by the coach. That is to be called up, leading to poor performance and not qualifying for the World Cup. Mr. Liu, I remember there was a time we pleaded that you should not bring... Okay. Okay. Greetings, Mr. Liu, and to all the panelists in the studio. I'm enjoying the program. My joy is that Eto'o has been vindicated. What is happening to the team is karma. Cameroonians, particularly the old people involved in sports, hate Eto'o. Of which Eto'o's outcry has been to make Cameroon football great, using fellow Cameroonians to achieve this. I like the remarks of Mr. Michael, but I still remember him saying a while ago that Eto'o isn't a good manager or leader. When Mr. Mark Brice was winning weak countries, today things have turned out in favor of Eto'o. The bottom line is a house divided against itself cannot stand. If the current players can walk in love and respect hierarchy, they will go far. Even the fighting spirit is missing, but arrogance and pride is the order of the day. What a pity. Long live Eto'o, his legacy. John Mary is writing from Yaoundé. Greetings, Mr. Liu. The truth is that let FECAFOOT be allowed to manage football in Cameroon. Eto'o has been a respected player and understands how and why Cameroon was succeeding when he was active, but jealousy doesn't want him to really put them continue. When someone is ahead of you, accept it and try to meet the person. Ego of the ministry is bad luck for Cameroon football. Good evening, Mr. Liu. For Mark Brice should be blamed. How can we be in a group and Cape Verde finishes top? Who will never win a crucial match. Okay, it's not a coach. Okay, you meant a coach who will never win a crucial match is not a coach. He should be sacked immediately, because if we go to AFCON with him, we are wasting our time. I am Godwill watching from Betua. Hello, good evening, Mr. Kum. I am watching from Yaoundé, Mendong. Please, the minister is the cause of the problems concerning our national team. Thanks. I'm calling Quine Killian. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Since 2010, what has happened with our national team? Good evening, Mr. Liu and the team. The atmosphere around the team is not enabling. MINSEP created a monster called Mark Brice. While I blame everybody who is not behaving well, I think Mark Brice does not have respect for Cameroon. I'm afraid some Cameroonians are using him to fight FECAFOOT, and he is not wise enough to refuse to be used. At the end of the day, when the team will not perform, it should be him to respond, not the people that are using him. AFCON will be his last chance. If he does not perform, he will surely not stay. He should make peace for his own interest. Thank you, Quine Jacob, writing there. Greetings, Mr. Liu and everyone in the studio. I'm Carl Wilson from Bamenda. I want to address the man blaming FECAFOOT for Cameroon not qualifying. I wish to say, ever since I have been following your program, this man is always against Eto'o. I don't know where the jealousy comes from. Now please ask him if FECAFOOT is responsible for Cameroon's failure then. For the other matches they won, was the same FECAFOOT responsible? This is very foolish analysis. Okay. Good evening. Please just keep the messages coming. But now, how do we find a middle ground between FECAFOOT and MINSEP?
Yes, they need to come together with each person. But especially first, taking the prescription, taking, you know, the rules that are supposed to be. And we know that we are looking at the apogee of football being the FIFA.
Okay.
Let FIFA give the prescription of the rule. And of course, I think that they know. I know that in Cameroon, there was an agreement, bilateral agreement with FECAFOOT and the ministry in 2015 or what. But I think that those stuff, it needs to be solidified and let each person know their role. It is very important. And one of the things that we say is that if we do not let the institutions govern us, we will always remain to be strong people and things will never always go well for us. The problem with football in Cameroon is that there's a lot of clientelism in football. You find that people are much more into personal gains, personal aggrandizement than the collective good of Cameroon. There are a lot of money too in football. We can understand that there's a lot of money, and therefore many people are rather looking at the money in football than the glory that Cameroon is supposed to have. And sometimes, let us think back in the 1990s or area even, the kind of football that Cameroon it was playing. It was a spectacle. I mean, football was spectacle at that time. You know, when you wanted to watch, yeah, there was no money there. You wanted to see a bigger trophy and all those guys. They play, they dribble, and they clap for them, and it was all excitement. That was it. There was no money, and there was no problem. Because when you look back in the 1990s, before then, there was no problem in Cameroon football because there was no money. Immediately money started coming, players started signing billions, hundreds of millions in the goal. Problems started coming. And now, what is happening? Now, even those we fit in as players, most players come into the national team who are not supposed to be there. It is because they pass through the back door. These are facts that we know. The players buy their way. Some players buy their way. And one of the things that we have to do is that we need to be honest to ourselves. I started by talking about how the president of this country each time would quote football as one of those disciplines that make Cameroonians proud. And now the word indomitable has come to mean to us in every field that even in whatever you're doing, you are a teacher, you should be indomitable. If you are a nurse, if you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you should be indomitable. And that name came from the alliance. And I just wonder how soon we have bashed that glory into the dustbin, and now we have gotten into our own selfish kind of motives in the team. So the point is that let each organ know its stand. The ministry has to know its stand. The FECAFOOT has to know its stand, and you know that if the problem is around the coach, now let us come to terms. Who is supposed to employ the coach? Is it FECAFOOT? Is it the ministry? If it is FECAFOOT, let FECAFOOT do his job. You remember, I don't know whether Cameroon was playing, which country in Cameroon here, was it Angola or where they were rushing to pick up players at the airport. The ministry will send a vehicle to pick players. FECAFOOT will send to pick players. But this is not called for. This is really not called for. I remember another point where players were refused not to enter in the car that FECAFOOT provided. This is not called for. Why are people making as if they are the one who are calling the shot in the team? They have to know that they are mere servants who have been appointed. Of course, if we even want to talk about someone who is supposed to take glory in all of this, it should be the president of FECAFOOT. And I'm saying why? I'm saying because he is an elected person. The minister is appointed. And one of the things, I know he represents the government, but one of the things we have to also understand that there are football now, players and all players are now wanting to take the football into their hand because they think that they can better run football. Well, some people will say that Platini has never played in the French team, or this who has never played, but that football has always been managed by people who have not played football. But Dave, now we are in a new era where all over the continent, wherever the continent, players want to take front row. Even in Ivory Coast, even Drogba tried to take. He tried to take, and it was impossible. Well, listen now, Mr. Musanga. You listen to me talk now. He tried to take it. He didn't take. Means that what? Players are having that urging desire to take over. In Nigeria, who is JJ Okocha? Who is he? He's not a minister of sports.
He's a minister.
He was one time working with the sports ministry.
He's a minister.
So what I'm saying is that
of Federation of Nigeria.
Good. Listen. What I'm saying is that the footballers are now coming back to take over what actually they know how to do better. Because we have had squabble in this country whereby players are complaining that when you give football to people who don't know what football is, we keep on having what we had some years back, whereby we had a toe. Even I see blame. But here the point there, sometimes you need to spoil something to fix another one. When he refused taking the flag, when they were going to the World Cup, I think
you remember.
I remember. So it was bad, but I think that at one moment, sometimes you need to do that kind of a thing to open the eyes of people to know that nothing is wrong. And now he has come up now as the president of FECAFOOT, maybe to right the wrongs of whoever was there before. Let us give him time. And I think that to build a football federation is not an issue of four years as he has been there. I thought that let us allow him with the free hands to do that. He gave his priorities. His priority was first the FECAFOOT headquarters. We have seen how brilliant it is now. Something that people are taking 10, 15, 20 years, you were never able to do. In 4 years, he has been able to put up that edifice. Don't you see that it takes a whole time, I mean, a procedure for somebody to do. He has a will.
Is it an edifice? He do it.
He did the completion. Now, Mr. Musinga, I don't know. You said you were alone. It appears that you came to defend the ministry, but is it still okay? So what we are saying is that how can we make things right? That even those of us who are beating the drum, because Mr. Musinga, you are beating the drum. Even I here, Dr. Ndimanjo, I'm beating the drum. All of us should be able to give them a free hand, because what I understand is that there are these commentaries of people around that are even putting more fire into this thing. There are even us supporters who are igniting this thing in the players, who are letting the players know that they are supposed to do this or they are supposed to do that. Let us leave the players, the federation, the ministry, and the coach, they do their job. It is very important to give them that free hand.
Yeah, Monsieur Musinga, est-ce que vous ne comprenez vraiment pas ce qu'il est en train de dire? Que à la fin, c'est les supporters qui poussent pour que MINSEP
pour qu'il y ait le désordre et qu'il y ait le feu entre les deux. Non, moi je suis pas d'accord. Je vais pas épouser cette vision. Ce qu'il dit, je n'épouse pas. Vous savez, la jeunesse chez nous a un problème. Et ça, je l'ai déjà dit ici une fois. C'est-à-dire, à un moment donné, c'est vrai que ceci n'est pas valable pour tout le monde. Nous tous, nous avons eu une enfance pas trop reluisante, pas trop gaie. Mais nous nous battons chaque jour pour survivre. Et malgré les moyens qui n'étaient pas ceux-là de nos parents, on a quand même, on s'est battu pour être là où on est nous tous aujourd'hui. Mais à un moment donné, il y en a peu qui ont un ego surdimensionné, qui ne comprennent pas que quand on a atteint un certain niveau, il y a les règles de la vie qu'il faut respecter. Vous savez, la politique sportive est fixée par l'État. C'est l'État qui fixe les règles et c'est l'État qui place qui trace un chemin pour la politique sportive. C'est le président de la République. Et le démembrement, le président de la République délègue ce pouvoir au ministère des Sports, qui est censé faire opérer la vision de l'État sur tous les sports qui existent. Et à partir du moment où nous, jeunes, qui avions peut-être une enfance pas trop, on se sent, c'est ça notre véritable problème. Quand on sent qu'on a déjà atteint un certain niveau, on a accès à on ouvre certaines portes, on perd le nord. On n'a même plus de respect pour les institutions et les autorités. Les autorités incarnent la vision du président de la République. Le ministre est l'émanation ou alors la délégation de la présidence de la République. Mais un homme ne peut pas se permettre de chiffonner un représentant du ministère, un représentant du président de la République et prétendre qu'il est légaliste. Regardez par exemple ce qui se passe avec l'AG que vous avez évoqué tout à l'heure. Depuis combien de temps? Sur une correspondance qui a été adressée au ministère, au ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique, où le ministre avait demandé à sa réponse, je pense que c'était au mois d'août, où il avait demandé à la FECAFOOT de surseoir au processus électoral, même des délégués, sur la base d'une lettre qui était adressée, que la FECAFOOT avait adressée au ministère pour le début des opérations électorales. Mais le ministère a répondu en demandant à la FECAFOOT de surseoir à ces opérations. Mais comme si de rien n'existait, de rien n'était, la FECAFOOT a continué à mener l'opération. Et voilà que l'autre jour, la FECAFOOT était encore au ministère pour demander un représentant pour l'Assemblée générale élective. Hein? Et voilà que le ministère dit non, je vous ai demandé depuis très longtemps de surseoir parce qu'il n'y a pas d'égalité. Comment peut-on déclarer qu'on est démocratiquement élu, qu'on soit démocratiquement élu et qu'on a une élection où on n'est que seul? On n'est que seul. La FECAFOOT va à une élection organisée l'AG, le seul candidat reste Samuel Eto'o. Où est-ce qu'on va?
Mais à la CAF, il y avait qui?
Pardon?
À la CAF, il y avait qui?
Mais parce que toutes les règles à la CAF, il y avait qui? Parce que toutes les règles
à la FIFA, il y avait qui?
À la FIFA, il y avait qui?
Oui.
Mais ça dépend.
Ouais.
Ça dépend. Mais est-ce que les règles sont les mêmes? Est-ce que les règles sont les mêmes? Les règles ne sont pas les mêmes. Alors si à partir du moment où on vous demande de faire d'abord un toilettage, on vous demande de faire un nettoyage des statuts, et que la FIFA elle-même a demandé de revenir au statut de 2018 ou 2021, de l'Assemblée de 2021. Je pense, vous qui êtes mieux calé dans les histoires du football, oui. Je pense que la FIFA a demandé de revenir, c'est 2018, non? Je crois que la FIFA a demandé de revenir, d'appliquer les statuts. Jusqu'aujourd'hui, ça n'a pas été fait. Les statuts qu'utilise la FECAFOOT ne sont pas les statuts de 2018 ou 2021, si mes souvenirs sont exacts. Alors maintenant, quand le ministre vous dit donc de revenir là-dessus, d'amener tous les acteurs du football, de les associer au processus électoral, la FECAFOOT se lève et déclare qu'elle organisera son assemblée générale avec ou sans le ministre. Mais on est dans quel pays? Nous voulons quoi? Quel héritage voulons-nous laisser? Est-ce parce que on a toujours ces portes qui nous sont ouvertes là, qu'on peut se permettre de ne même plus respecter le représentant du chef de l'État à travers son ministre, qui est le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique? Et pendant qu'on y est, quelle est la situation? Moi je dis, docteur, ne nous écartons pas des réalités. Quelle est la situation du football camerounais au jour d'aujourd'hui? Pourquoi vous n'évoquez pas ça? Aucune équipe camerounaise n'est qualifiée nulle part. Je dis bien que là où le ministre n'intervient donc pas, je dis là où il n'y a pas les problèmes de Marc Brice, s'il vous plaît, on a repêché les Lions indomptables. On les a repêchés. On les a éliminés, oui ou non?
Mais elles sont qualifiées.
Ayons l'honnêteté intellectuelle. Dites les choses. Est-ce que vous voulez... Non, je dis, ayons l'honnêteté. Est-ce que les Lions indomptables ont été qualifiés?
Oui, ils sont qualifiés.
Voilà le problème de Cameroun.
Comment?
On est là-dedans te dire.
Comment?
Mais tout demande à...
Les Lions sont... Mais docteur, on sait que le Cameroun était là, les Lions là, étaient les deuxièmes en Afrique après le Nigeria. La seule équipe qui faisait peur au Cameroun, c'était le Nigeria. Regardez comment, où est la situation du championnat de football de première division du Cameroun aujourd'hui. En dehors de cette équipe où on présente Marc Brice comme le diable. Alors maintenant, dites-nous les autres équipes. Les U20 ou machin qu'on devait prendre pour aller affronter le Cap-Vert là. C'est eux que la Centrafrique est venue éliminer au Cameroun.
You are not answering my question. I asked the question. No. I asked the question. How can we get discussion? How can we get common ground between FECAFOOT and MINSEP? You spent the whole time running down FECAFOOT. That was not the question I asked you. Yeah.
It is very simple, Mr. Leo. It is very simple. The minister that
no, you are not showing how they should work together.
I just want to
No, you should answer my question.
Yeah, I want to. I'm answering the question by coming.
Not asking any question.
I'm not answering you. I'm asking you.
When I'm going to answer you, my fellow is going.
Just wait.
Answer his question.
We have ministers.
Don't talk about
we want to bring the solutions now. The solutions now. So that's what I'm about to answer.
Voila.
The Minister of Sport was appointed by the President of the Republic. And he is functioning as a minister under the President of the Republic. I have never seen one day the President of the Republic giving strict orders that your ministry, you need to do like this, most of the time, no. He will allow you to perform your function as the Minister of Sport. The same with the Minister of Sport and FECAFOOT. FECAFOOT is Cameroon Football Federation that manages football in Cameroon. So when a minister allows his own duties and want to hijack the duties of the president of FECAFOOT or the FECAFOOT in general, it is not acceptable.
Yeah, but that's not the question.
Now, what the minister and FECAFOOT need to do, everyone should take the laws that governs that institution. They should respect their laws.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing the minister violating the laws that governs the Cameroon Football Federation. So if he leaves his egos and come and say, okay, FECAFOOT, take your functions as the Cameroon Football Federation, it's okay. Because the problem now is when the minister wants to impose on an institution that is having a president that was elected. That's why it's causing a problem. Then now, the problem have gone so deep into Division 1 regional leagues and the rest. But we are surprised that we are also hearing the regional leagues now. I knew only of Division 2 and Division 1. I quite remember that one of my colleagues where I was working before was playing in Division 2. We went there. After the match, they were giving them 500.
Yeah, but Musinga says nothing is working for Cameroon's football.
No, I saw it. They gave the man 500 francs.
Is it?
And the place from the place that they were playing the match to his house, he would spend almost 1,500. Meaning he trekked almost around some 10 kilometers. Okay, when you look the way Eto was bringing up the football in general in Cameroon, it was in such a way that they go to regional leagues, bring those of underprivileged youth that they don't have money, the parents don't have money to sponsor them in any football academy. So that when they come to the regional league, they will pick them from the quarter they played at the regional league. People, they're watching them, then they may be having the chance to go to Division 2, Division 1. Why not international? So now the minister have seen most of the because FECAFOOT, I'm not like FECAFOOT is having money. Only qualifying, if the Cameroon qualifies for the World Cup, there's a money that comes because of only qualification. Then if they are going to go and play the World Cup, they give them the money for participation. The money is always is enough. So using the money to build Cameroon football has become a problem. That's where the problem is. So the minister should please allow FECAFOOT to do their function. We are pleading. Because as of now, they have been chained. Meaning that they have put me, people have seen me as a competent leader, voted me. I want to perform my functions. You are there dragging me back again. If Eto was not someone that is having having a good heart for Cameroonians, he would have resigned.
I feel like you don't understand what you asked.
They say he's doing exactly what
because you told him that. You told him that.
No, you are not a moderator. You are not a moderator.
No, you are trying to see. The only thing to calm down the tension is to respect the rules and regulations.
Everything is wrong in football, in Cameroon football. Give him
it's not everything.
Give the answer. Don't read la réponse. Le football camerounais est au sol.
It's okay.
Le championnat ne joue pas. Aucune équipe nationale n'est qualifiée. Et pour quel que soit, on est obligé de nous repêcher. Même la FECAFOOT vient nous éliminer. Répondez à la question.
The Lioness are qualified. They are qualified. They are qualified. Then the Indomitable Lions are qualified for the African Cup of Nations. Don't say as if it is not Eto'o that will go and play.
Okay, okay. I'll take these last messages and then we call it a day. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the crew. The coach was brought in as manager, and he came and started playing politics rather than what he was signed for. As a coach, you are supposed to manage and keep the team as a block rather than helping to fuel the rift among the players. Mark Breeze had proven that he is not capable to pilot our national team to greater heights and should better be shown the door out. The ministry and the minister should stay off the management of our football, and this narrative of the state is the one providing the money and should stop, because this money is from taxpayers of Cameroonians, not the minister's money. What we are witnessing in our football today with underperformance is because Eto'o came in and blocked all the shady deals that particular persons were benefiting. They are now fighting tooth and nail to sabotage Eto'o's good work. Pius is writing from Bonaberry. Greetings to the panelists. Eto'o should please leave our football. He was a very great player but not a good administrator. Our football has always had problems ever since Eto'o took leadership, from when he was the captain to when he was elected president of FECAFOOT. In 2017, that he was on suspension, we won the AFCON. He returned and we didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. I would like to remind you that football has been in shambles ever since he took leadership. Let's forget about the national team. Okay, Stephen is writing from Muyuka. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the entire crew. In my opinion, I think Minister of Sports and Physical Education don't know his function and limits. This is Cameroon, where he studied agriculture, but we are being appointed to manage logistics. We have football legends like Patrick Mboma, Roger Miller, who could better manage the Ministry of Sports. Prosperity writing from young. Okay, prosperity writing from young. They tell that man to respect Eto'o's name. Let him not be jealous. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I appreciate all the panelists for the critical analysis of FECAFOOT and the Ministry of Sports in Cameroon. As long as Cameroon is being ruled by the old Constitutional Council, success will be difficult for Cameroonians. Their political malpractices are being manifest in diverse sectors. FECAFOOT is just a visible proof for a dying need for change. Mark Breeze got the audacity to challenge Eto'o simply because Kombi gave him the right. Which intelligent minister will give a foreigner the right to challenge a citizen? The earlier we take power from the old Constitutional Council, the better for the success of Cameroon and Cameroonians. My humble opinion. Good evening. Ask Mr. Musinga whether he wants to be the president of the Normalization Committee. Gilberto is writing from Bafusa. Good evening, Mr. Liu. If Mark Breeze is talking glory when our team wins, then he should also take glory and responsibilities for their failure. Too much jealousy and hatred for Eto'o. Edwin is writing from Boya. Greetings, Mr. Liu and the Prime Hour team. I accept what the French panelist is saying. Cameroon has lost its strength when in football, even in local league, it's difficult to get players that can represent the national team or junior team. The fighting spirit is gone long ago when Eto'o took the captain. There is a power tussle. FECAFOOT lacks competency and needs a good leader. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Our brother talking now in studio. Can FECAFOOT work without the Minister of Sports and Physical Education? Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think this case between FECAFOOT and MINSEP should be handed over to the Constitutional Council so that they can give us the final verdict. Good evening, Mr. Liu. to me, let Mr. Mark Breeze leave because he contributed nothing as a coach of our national team. He lacked respect and he helps to spoil the team as he took side when he arrived. He has no tactics as a coach and can't read a game. Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Chair Junior writing from Idea. The problem is not FECAFOOT. The problem is that the coach doesn't know modern football because modern football is based on midfield, but his midfield is nonsense. Okay, we're going to be ending at this juncture. One last word from you, Doctor.
Yeah, I think the last
on the way out.
The way out is
especially as we look forward to the Nations Cup.
Yeah, the way out is that sometimes there is always a way to clean your face when things go wrong, and I recommend humility from all the football governing authorities. Let them ought be humble before Cameroonians to know that this is football is that one thing that we have always held in high esteem, and that is the thing that touches right into our hearts. That when you hear that Indomitable Lions are playing, at least there is some quite some joy. I mean, that you forget about some of the suffering that we go through. But that still, we should also note that if gold should rust, well, then iron do. We should also know that when certain things happen, it is because of not only that which stems from football, is that a lot of things are not going on in Cameroon, because the issue of football can be able to help us to fix a lot of things in Cameroon. But then I will be calling on the climate that is so tense now in FECAFOOT with the coming elections and all of those that can further traumatize, you know, the preparation for the African Nations Cup. I really think that the ministry and FECAFOOT should settle, let the dust settle. That storm that being raised in the teacup is not called for. I think that they should better settle for the good of Cameroonians and for all that we have already spent in this football, and for the expectations that were not met with the qualification for the World Cup. Let them settle their dust. If it is to allow FECAFOOT organize their election, let them allow for the good of these players that are going to take part in the next AFCON. It is very, very important, and that let us know that we are an institution and we are a country, and this also calls to for if the President of the Republic to also show that he's in command and that he should put order in some of these things. While putting order, we also need to be very careful, because when we over-merge into issues that concern FECAFOOT, we know that FIFA 2 is also there. So let us do all that we have to do, but follow the law as it's supposed to be done. It is very, very important, because when you want to do it because you have the authority to do, you may overstep your bounds, and this may cause other problems in other areas of football. It is very, very important. Football does not depend only on Cameroon. It is something that is international, and therefore let us go by the rules that govern this football. If there were things that didn't go wrong, that didn't go right, can people come back and look themselves in the faces? Let them know that they will come and go, but that the institution, that FECAFOOT will remain. The president of FECAFOOT will know that he will go and FECAFOOT will remain. The minister should know that he will go and the ministry will remain. And therefore, one of the best things to do is to leave a good legacy. In FECAFOOT, to leave a good legacy in the Ministry of Sport, and that at the end of it all, it is Cameroon that we are serving.
Okay, Musinga, yeah. What should be the way out as we prepare for AFCON?
Moi, je pense que nous avons d'abord le processus électoral, l'Assemblée générale qui est là et qui est annoncé, qui certainement connaîtra une suite pas du tout heureuse, compte tenu de la demande de les points sur lesquels le ministre s'appuie, le retour au statut du 13 juillet 2021. Je pense que la FECAFOOT n'étant pas apte à pouvoir appliquer ces statuts, attendons d'abord, parce que la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations, c'est vrai que c'est là, c'est à côté, mais il y a d'abord cette situation qu'il va falloir réguler. Et moi, je pense qu'il serait très judicieux aujourd'hui que l'on comprenne et l'on sache que le Cameroun passe avant tout. Et à partir du moment où le Cameroun passe avant tout, si on se dit fils du chef de l'État ou alors quelqu'un qui respecte le président de la République, le président de la République reste un légaliste. Et alors, je pense qu'il aime ceux qui respectent les lois de la République. Et les lois de la République disent quoi? Disent que le ministère des Sports et de l'Éducation physique incarne la tutelle de la fédération et de toutes les fédérations sportives d'ailleurs. Donc la FECAFOOT ne peut pas s'autoproclamer instance ou alors entité au-dessus du ministère. Et c'est là où je ne suis pas d'accord. Et compte tenu de cette situation, je suis sûr que Marc Brice, parlant de la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations, je sais que Marc Brice s'attelle à préparer une équipe forte, va s'atteler à préparer une équipe forte. Même comme depuis quelque temps, il est dit dans les réseaux sociaux qu'il doit partir, qu'on a déjà lancé, on a contacté la DTN, la Direction Technique Nationale, pour un nouvel entraîneur et tout ça là. Et voilà comment le moral de l'équipe nationale a été sapé. Mais je pense que les choses rentreront dans l'ordre incessamment pour permettre à l'équipe nationale de retrouver sa vraie valeur.
Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour remettre de l'ordre?
Moi, je pense que remettre de l'ordre, c'est recadrer, amener la FECAFOOT à respecter sa tutelle, qui est le ministère des Sports et de l'Éducation physique. Et à partir du moment où la FECAFOOT sera recadrée, reconnaîtra sa place et agira selon la volonté et la politique tracée par l'État, par le gouvernement, la politique sportive tracée par l'État et le gouvernement, je pense qu'à partir de ce moment, nous retrouverons une équipe avec nos lettres de noblesse d'antan.
Marc Brice n'a rien pour vous, il est ange.
Parce que pour moi, Marc Brice a tout fait. Et moi, j'ai dit, je vous l'ai dit, depuis au début de Marc Brice, tous les Camerounais l'ont porté haut les mains. Tout le monde l'a reconnu. C'est à partir du moment où le Cameroun, l'équipe nationale du Cameroun a connu des problèmes à partir du moment où il a été question de mettre un nouveau staff, de mettre les gens, on a nommé d'autres gens en dehors de mettre un staff en écartant les Oman Biik et tout ça là, et mettre les Ntungupile et refuser à Marc Brice d'avoir un assistant. C'est-à-dire, cette situation a créé un climat délétère au sein de l'équipe nationale et c'est à partir de là que l'équipe a commencé à chanceler. Donc pour moi, c'est un entraîneur qui nous a prouvé de quoi il est capable parce qu'il a hissé le Cameroun et on se serait qualifié au jour d'aujourd'hui sans passer par les barrages. Et avec tout ce désordre que la FECAFOOT a foutu au sein de la tanière, on a été obligé de passer par les barrages et malheureusement, on s'est retrouvé à éliminer pour la Coupe du Monde.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Gracias to your work at the media. I'm on the motion that Marc Brice is the cause of Cameroon's failure to qualify for the World Cup because as a well-experienced coach, you should know the lineup to use during crucial matches and the type of players too. Just look at the Cameroon versus Angola match, also Cameroon versus DR Congo. There was no pressure as to compare with Cameroon in those days. This Cameroon of today can take at least 10 goals against Brazil that Rigobert won, where we put more blame on the Minister of Sports, who has given this white man to do everything he wishes in our own country. This is a big blow to Cameroon. Marc Brice should be excommunicated, my opinion. Mr. Thierry is writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all the panelists in the studio. I'm Mr. Baliki Eboka watching from Tiko. As a matter of fact, I'm embarrassed with the authorities of this nation. The minister's boss is crying that the electoral system of FECAFOOT isn't good, that the Minad boss should join him to fight a toe, that the FECAFOOT election should not be held. I just wish these old leaders who have hijacked the affairs of the state should be thinking of how to give young people the chance to model this nation. To my opinion, let the ministry allow the federation to manage our football in peace. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. Mr. Liu, Cameroon is at old age and Cameroon is not left, and football is not left out. Let Cameroon be renewed and everything will be taken care of. Yes, your last word.
Okay, Mr. Liu, I think to maintain the joy of football into the deep heart of Cameroonians now, Marc Brice should resign. I think because in football, It is not like employment that you are just holding to work, maybe working. When you fail to pass a certain stage in football, you yourself will resign. We have been seeing it. Since Mark Brice is not able to qualify Cameroon and win Eswatini, Mark Brice should resign and give our football the joy that we were enjoying before. Because what he is doing now, it is politics. When you are moving around the quarter, you will get people talking about FECAFOOT, MINSEP, Mark Brice. All this confusion was brought in by Mark Brice and the Minister of Sport. So the Minister of Sport also should allow FECAFOOT to perform her functions, because interfering, disturbing, then if the minister knows FECAFOOT is working under his ministry, it's good to calm. They should calm the discourse. What we are seeing now is they are reporting on social media, try to get sympathizers. Those are what we call political propaganda. When Mark Brice was coming to Cameroon from Europe, I saw fellow Cameroonians dancing at the airport. Please, those type of things should just end. We are not in any football propaganda or trying to prove right.
No, Cameroonians were already missing him, especially when he announced that he was going to resign. Everybody
talk about result.
No, he resigned.
Sports result.
He actually resigned because he was not paid. So what is happening now? Let the minister take. If Mark Brice will go take the national team to AFCON, let the minister hand Mark Brice to FECAFOOT, and make Mark Brice understand that your boss is the FECAFOOT, Cameroon Football Federation, not the ministry. The Minister of Sport is only the Minister of Sport and Physical Education. I quite remember that even with the volleyball, they have a problem of presidency. Another one was the ministry, another one was elected, and it's still the same. So it has become a natural weakness of the Minister of Sport. Because if it was only FECAFOOT, we will understand that okay, FECAFOOT is not working. Volleyball in Cameroon is having the same problem. So the Minister of Sport should consider his ways. Because it seems as if he don't know his functions.
Thank you.
That's the main thing.
Thank you very much, Tata, for coming, and also to you, Dr. Ndimancho. Thank you for coming, as well as you, Edman Musinga. Diodone, writing from Douala, says Mark Brice should resign. I don't know why you guys want him to resign. He is working. I'm sure he has qualified Cameroon for the Nations Cup. It is true he has failed to qualify for the World Cup. It's 50-50. Why not just give him the benefit of doubt to see what he's going to do out there in Morocco when we go for the Nations Cup. We want to thank you all for watching, especially to the production team. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.